Welcome back to the channel. Today we're hitting the trails with an absolute beast of a bike, the Trek Slash. This long travel enduro machine is built to smash everything in its path, from rowdy bike park laps to rugged local trails, and even those lung busting climbs. Buckle up because we're about to put this rig to the test and see if it lives up to the hype. Meet our Trek Slash 9.8 Gen 6, a long travel trail slayer built for riders who charge hard and push limits. It's packed with everything a modern enduro rider craves: dialed geometry, super suspension support, and race level agility. In this review, we're diving into what makes the new Trek Slash a true game changer, and more importantly, how it actually rides. Let's get into it. Trek have changed things up for this 6th generation of their enduro platform. The Slash has 170mm of travel front and back and comes mullet out of the box, although you can run a 29-inch wheel out back if you want to by switching the lower shock mount. And shorter riders will be happy to hear the small-sized frame is designed to run as a full 27.5 setup. The Slash uses a 4-bar ABP suspension platform featuring a high pivot idler, which is designed to increase the rear axle path. The idler is positioned closer to the main pivot to reduce the effect of chain growth. On the trail, this results in greater control on the descents and greatly reduced pedal bob when climbing, even in the open setting. The geometry on the Slash is adjustable, so riders can fine-tune the bike to their preference. This is done with a swappable upper headset cup that can slacken or steepen the head angle by 1 degree from the 63.3 degrees it's set at out of the box. Down at the lower shock mount, Trek have added a flip chip that lets you fine-tune your ride further. Switch it up for a more linear feel or dial in extra progression for big hits and aggressive riding. Trek have steepened the seat angle considerably from their Gen 5 models and is now 77 or 78 degrees depending on the frame size. The Slash comes stock with 170mm of buttery smooth travel up front, but if you're all about sending big lines and crushing bike park laps, you can crank it up to 190mm for even more confidence and capability. Our test rig is built with Trek's premium OCLV mountain carbon, delivering the perfect balance of strength and lightweight performance. But if you prefer the rugged durability of aluminium, Trek's got you covered with alloy options too. As for our demo model, it tips the scales at around 16 kilograms. The beefed up chainstay protector helps keep things nice and quiet on the trail. A threaded bottom bracket keeps your crankset running smooth, even in the harsh conditions. And an oversized 34.9mm seat post gives more strength and support for longer posts. There's also an upgraded storage compartment in the down tube with a wider door. Alright, let's talk about what really matters, how the Trek Slash actually feels on the trail. Right from the first ride, this bike inspires confidence. The centered riding position makes it intuitive and easy to get on with straight away. We put the Slash through its paces on 3 different types of trails: fast and flowy descents, jump lines, and tech-heavy feature-packed tracks. And let me tell you, this bike dominates all 3 with equal authority. The Trek Slash is built for speed, and on fast, flowy trails, the ABP suspension design really shines through. The bike stays planted through high-speed berms, offering incredible stability. The new suspension kinematics strike the perfect balance, plush and supple off the top for small bump sensitivity, but without blowing through its travel. This means that you get all the support you need when pushing hard, whether you're pumping through rollers or sending bigger hits, making the Slash Gen 6 an absolute weapon for fast flow or jump trails. You might think that a bike with this much travel might suffer on smoother trails, but it's still very nimble on the trail. Having a mixed wheel size setup means that when flow trails get tighter and twisty, with lots of fast changes of direction, the bike can still thread through corners with striking agility. When it comes to hitting jumps, the Slash doesn't just survive, it thrives. The RockShox Zeb fork up front and the new Vivid Air shock in the rear work together to provide the perfect blend of support and traction. Even with minimal setup time, the Vivid Air impressed, feeling supple off the top to absorb small bumps, but the Slash rides higher in its travel, and its mid-stroke support and progression means it's very playful whilst being great at dealing with bigger hits and landing heavy. This balance means that takeoffs feel predictable, mid-air stability is on point, and landings are smooth, whether you're boosting tabletops or throwing it sideways on hip jumps. The playful nature of the bike makes it easy to flick around, yet it still carries serious speed between features. On steep, feature-laden tech tracks, the Slash's suspension and geometry work in harmony to keep you in control. Route sections that would rat lesser bikes are handled with ease, thanks to the rearward axle path of the high pivot suspension design. The Slash is remarkably calm in these sections, and you can be confident at charging through with the bike holding its line. The ABP system keeps braking forces separate from suspension movement, meaning you don't lose traction when grabbing a handful of brake on gnarly sections. And for even more control on the steeps, swap out that headset cup and make the front end even slacker. There's decent grip and traction on tap, but we found the Bontrager SE5 tyres that come stock to be pretty stiff and unforgiving. Even when we dropped pressure from both wheels, our rider felt that they had a tendency to ping off of roots and rocks rather than deform around them. On another note, we had seen some feedback from other reviews about the chain dropping when descending in certain situations. Though other reviews pointed out that that was down to setup, we certainly had no issues on the trail with the Slash. When you've reached the bottom of the trail with an enormous grin on your face, and trust me you will, you'll need to get yourself back up. On long fire road grinds like this, the Slash actually climbs better than you might expect for a bike with 170mm of travel. Alright, it's not a featherweight XC machine, but thanks to the steep seat angle and the efficient suspension design, it keeps you in a strong pedalling position and doesn't waste energy bobbing around. Again, Trek's active braking pivot and high pivot suspension work together to keep power transfer smooth, meaning you don't feel like you're sinking into the travel with every pedal stroke. The rearward axle path also helps the bike maintain momentum, so you're not getting hung up on every little bump. Even sections where you'd expect a big travel bike like this to struggle, the Trek Slash holds its own. The anti-squat properties help keep pedalling efficient, and because the suspension stays active, you're not bouncing around when climbing over roots. So is the Slash a mountain goat? Well, not exactly, but for a bike with this much downhill capability, it climbs really well. On long fire road grinds, it's comfortable and efficient, and on rougher technical climbs, it delivers the grip and traction you need to keep moving. If you're willing to put the effort in on the ups, the payoff on the downs is really worth it. No matter the terrain, fast and flowy, big and jumpy, or steep and technical, the Trek Slash delivers an incredibly balanced ride. It's agile yet stable, playful yet planted, and ready for whatever you throw at it. We hesitate to use the term mini downhill bike, but it does seem very appropriate given how strong a descender the Slash is over some really harsh tracks. With the bike being a very good climber too, we're confident in saying the Gen 6 Slash is going to be a great bike for a lot of riders, particularly if you want one bike to crush the bike park, handle your local trails, or go to compete at some enduro or mini downhill races. Whether you're chasing speed, boosting jumps, or blasting down technical descents, this bike handles it all with ease. If you're looking for an enduro bike that can do it all, the Slash is definitely one to check out. That's our ride on the Trek Slash Gen 6 over. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and give us a like if you enjoyed the review. Don't forget you can shop the Trek Slash and a huge number of other bike brands and disciplines at uprisebikes.com. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more reviews and cycling content coming in the future. That's all for today, and we'll catch you next time.
Drop it!